A video is going viral showing a man sitting at a restaurant unloading a handgun into a would-be robber, and it's generating a bit of controversy. The latest news right now is that Houston police want to talk to a restaurant customer seen in shocking video shooting dead would-be robber. Graphic video footage captured the moment a robber with a plastic gun was fatally shot by a customer at a taqueria in Houston. The controversy is this: the robber didn't have a real gun. He didn't need to die. The controversy is also, after the customer shoots him several times and he goes down, the customer then goes pop, pop again. And that's where people start having the debate. But I'll tell you where I stand. The customer did the right thing. The unfortunate, but right thing. I am sorry to hear that this man died, and he did. I'm sorry to hear these circumstances exist, but my friends, life is not fair. If you aggress upon someone and threaten their lives or the lives of others, then it is within the right of the others, of the people, to stop you. But let's read the story, and then we'll talk a little bit about the controversy so you can understand why people are even debating at all. The Independent reports, a vigilante customer who fatally shot a masked robber at a Houston taqueria is being sought by police. Shocking video footage of the robbery at Ranchito No. 4 in Southwest Houston shows a robber circling the tables demanding cash and valuables from customers. As the gunman passes a booth, a patron pulls out a handgun and begins firing at him from behind, like point blank. The customer continues shooting as the robber collapses to the ground near the restaurant front door and then stands and delivers two more shots point blank. The security video recorded at 11:30 p.m. on Thursday shows the robber was dressed in black and a ski mask, black gloves, etc., pronounced dead at the scene by emergency responders. Police said the suspect was armed with a plastic pistol such as a BB gun. The customer then returns the stolen wallets and cash to the startled diners before leaving in his pickup truck. Houston police have released photos of the shooter. They've not filed any charges. Quote, officers were dispatched to a shooting call at the restaurant at the above address and observed an unknown black male in all black clothing. He had been shot multiple times. Paramedics pronounced him deceased. Witnesses told officers the suspect entered the restaurant and pointed a pistol at patrons. Witnesses told officers the suspect entered, they'd say it twice, okay. As the suspect collected money from patrons, one of the patrons, described as a white or Hispanic male, produced a gun of his own and shot the suspect multiple times. They say that it was a BB gun of some sort. Doesn't matter. And I'll tell you why. Anybody who knows anything about guns, you know the basic rules. Guns are always loaded. Never point a gun at something you don't intend to destroy, among others. Those are the two that I want to focus on right now. This robber pointed a weapon. Apparently it was fake. Doesn't matter. He said, by doing so, he will kill you, period. Well, that's it. Statement of intent to murder someone. So this patron did what he had to do and he shot him. He did what he had to do. I am saddened by the loss of life. You know, I grew up watching these superhero shows. Batman and Superman, they don't kill. You don't cross that line. What's interesting, though, is as much as I respected those stories and the ideas that the writers imbued into those comics, I don't agree. And you look at these stories and Batman will never kill and Superman doesn't kill. There are a few arcs where they do, don't get me wrong, but the general idea is they don't. No, this guy, he's a hero. And I hate to say it, because I would never glorify aggression, but this was not. This was self-defense, and we need to be clear about this. The robber, I wish he didn't die. I wish he didn't pull out a gun and point it in people's faces, because to anyone else, that was simulated, execution. The fact that his gun is fake doesn't matter. It is not incumbent upon the victims to assume a gun is real or not and then say, but if I do try and save my own life, I could go to jail because maybe his gun's not real. No. It's incumbent upon the person committing the crime to accept the responsibility. In this case, he died. And again, I don't want anyone to die. I think violence is bad. But the violence was the robber, not the patron who fired in self-defense. Now here's the debate. The plastic gun. I already addressed it. Doesn't matter. Anyone would assume it was real and their life was in danger, and it's not their fault to think so. But what about the 2 extra shots when the guy's already down? Nope. As much as, again, I don't want anyone to get hurt. Just because someone gets shot doesn't mean it doesn't mean you've won and you've stopped them. He could have shot this guy one time and then been like, that's reasonable. And the guy would just turn around and start unloading. You've got to eliminate the threat because it's not just to you, it's to other people in that restaurant. I want everybody to be armed. We talked about this last week. We talked about a woman on a train who got raped in full view of patrons who did nothing. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. You know, I've said it before, like if it were me, I'd probably drop kick the dude. I'd stomp on him. If I saw a guy climb on a woman like that and she was screaming, I'm on a train. And and that's a real risk to me, I guess. But I'm not saying this because I'd be like, oh man, I'm going to use some sweet kung fu moves. I've been training, you know, I know how to protect myself and no way. I took some Taekwondo classes when I was a little kid. Actually took some kung fu classes for about a week when I was like 19. But I don't know nothing other than watching commentary from MMA dudes. But I would probably just lose it. I'd probably just have an adrenaline surge and just try and stop the guy. If he pulled out a weapon, then I'd probably be backing off. But, you know, I'm not going to sit by and just watch some woman get attacked. But there's a simpler solution to all of this. Be armed. Because bad guys are armed. They don't care about the law. That's why they're robbing the store. You're not allowed to rob a store. Did the no robbery sign not convince him? I don't understand. Why doesn't the restaurant just put a robbery-free zone? Because somebody who intends to break the law will do whatever they have to break it. And that means if guns are illegal, so what? Robbery is already illegal too. They're going to ensure that they have the ability to hurt you to get what they want. So these gun laws only stand to take away the rights of good, normal people. And that's the issue I take with it. We can't live this way, man. Now, I have some fears, reasonable fears. I think that lady on that train should have had a gun. I'd recommend maybe like if you're in the city, first get training, get a permit if it's allowed, and then a small 22 of some sort. 9mm is good. My view on it, like I'm not an expert or anything like that, but I'd probably want, you know, something small, frangible, or hollow point because you want to mitigate any external damage, and you only want to use it against the person who's aggressing upon you and threatening your life. I just don't understand how it's supposed to be incumbent upon this woman to have a man climb on top of her and then her be like, well, hopefully he doesn't kill me too. Nah, you attack someone, that's it. Your life is now on the line by your choice. I do have some fears, as I mentioned, that there will be terrified people. There will be a woman walking down the street and she sees a guy walking and she gets scared, so she grips her gun and then makes a mistake. I fear something like that. That's why training is also extremely important. But I don't think it should be mandatory. We went to a shooting range this week and we had fun. Got to fire a suppressed FN 509. It was nice. I'm not the biggest fan. Suppressors, it was a little wonky. It wasn't cycling properly, and then we have to recycle it and stuff like that. But the recoil was less. The noise obviously was less. It was fun. And then we used a bunch of other ones, and being there, I think it's important people understand the basic rules of using these weapons. It's important you go to ranges and learn how to use these weapons. And I mean, I'll put it at that. I'll put it at that when I say this. I want everybody to exercise their rights to keep and bear arms. I don't want robberies to happen or burglaries to happen, but if somebody wants to put their life on the line because they want to commit a crime, that's on them. When we spoke at Turning Point USA, you don't allowed to have guns. I don't agree with that. I think everybody in the audience should have been allowed to carry a weapon because the risk is on me, not you. Your rights should not be infringed because I make a choice to stand in front of you. I want to go up and stage in front of thousands of people. That doesn't mean you lose the right to keep and bear arms. I think there are negative consequences to this idea that rights can be suppressed. Now, don't get me wrong, it's private property. And I respect private property rights as well. So if I get a business and I say you can't come in for this reason, well, it's my business. There are some limitations. But let me put it this way. If we're going to play this game where a guy's got to serve a cake or get sued because it's our right, you want to assert your rights in this business? Let me assert my Second Amendment rights as well. How can a business deny my right to defend myself, but then they also can force someone at that business to provide a service? If we're going to play the game that public businesses are in public, then you should be, as a member of the public with rights, able to keep and bear arms on their property if they want to abide by the social contract. Here's how I phrased it before. If you got a shop hooked up to the public sewer lines, to the public roads, with public police and fire department and ambulances readily available for you at your disposal, well, you're part of a system we're all paying into. And thus, I think it's fair that you provide certain services within reason. Somebody wants a cake that says something, and you provide a service to the public. You're occupying space that would not be that takes away availability to any other business, limiting competition, and then you're denying certain people. So, like, I don't like the idea. A black person walks in and says they want food. You say no, that's not okay. In the instance of the bakery, that story was basically the guy didn't want to write a certain message, and I understand that argument, but I'll put it this way. If the liberals want to argue that a business must abide by my rights, that includes my rights to keep and bear arms. The story's unfortunate. The robbery shouldn't have happened. Dude shouldn't have died. But the end result was a good guy with a gun saved people from someone who threatened their lives. I hate to see it. I really do. It's never good, but it's just not as bad. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up in a few minutes. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you all shortly.